So hello everyone, my name is Lenka Kleger, and we know with many of you from the previous campaign, but for those who don't know me, I coordinate the European Phenology Campaign, and I do it together with my colleagues, coordinators from the Global Regional Coordination Office for Europe and Eurasia, with Zuzana Lhotakova, who is here with us today.
Yeah, hello everyone.
And with Bara Semerakova, who couldn't join. Today's webinar is also the launch of the autumn campaign. So I'm very happy to welcome you to this webinar, but also to the whole autumn campaign, to the few months that we will spend together observing the trees. And this webinar will last about an hour. First, you will hear from me information about the campaign. Then you will meet Zuzana Lhotakova, who will join later during the meeting. And Zuzana is a scientist from Charles University, and she's also an author of a new lesson, which is focused on carbon cycle, role of trees in the carbon cycle, and on the fact that leaves lose white during the autumn. So she will explain why this happens and give you information about this lesson. There will be also time for your questions after each of the presentation and also at the end of this meeting. And I have already mentioned it, but for those who join later, please use chat window to give us comments and questions. We will always get back to them after each presentation. So if there are no questions at the moment about the webinar schedule, then I will share my screen and start with information about the campaign. Well, I hope you can see it. Dana, if you can you show me? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Thanks a lot. Before I will tell you all you need to know about the autumn campaign, I just want to very briefly talk about what is phenology, because from the registration form, I saw that like half of the schools that will be here today already joined the campaign. Half of the schools are here for the first time. So for those who are first time trying phenology observation and maybe don't know what it really is, there is a brief summary. So I will start with a sentence from Gunta Kalvane, scientist from University of Latvia, who cooperates with us with this campaign. And she calls phenology a language of nature. I really like it, and I really think it's very true statement, because phenology tells us how living organisms, animals, and plants respond to seasonal and climatic changes in their environment. I mentioned animals and plants. Phenology focuses on both, but in this campaign, we will only focus on plants, specifically on trees. Phenology is also one of the oldest areas of environmental science. So people always in the past, they needed to know how to get food, when to harvest their crops, when to hunt animals when they are migrating. So all this is phenology actually. And nowadays, the phenological data are still very important, and they are important for various aspects of our life. We still need information for the agriculture, but for example, if you suffer from a pollen allergy, you also need phenology data to know when to be careful about pollens from some specific plant. Phenology data are also very important for scientists who use them for research, and one of the important application is a study of climate change and proving of climate change. So this was very quickly about phenology, and now let's jump to the autumn phenology campaign. I'm very happy that this autumn we will have 140 school teams from 17 countries participating and observing together seasonal changes of trees. It is in fact almost 2,300 students working together, which is amazing, I think. And the campaign is starting just now, and it will continue until December, or for you actually until the time when the leaves of your trees fall down. What we want to aim with this campaign, we want to provide for you, for teachers and for students, activities that help you to go out with your students and to learn about nature outside. The activities were adapted also for distance learning, which I hope we will not need this autumn, but in case we will, they are ready, so you can use them for distance learning. The results of your observation can be used as a nice source for further projects and for further activities in your schools. And they are also used by scientists for research. And last but not least, we really want to emphasize sharing of information and cooperation within the schools, within the countries, but also on the international level. What to expect during the campaign? We will provide you 3 activities focused on green down and 2 additional activities about carbon cycle and leaf white loss and about tree height. You will receive from us a regular newsletter with information. We will organize webinars for you to learn more about phenology. We will also issue certificates for each school that will be active in the campaign. This will be done after the campaign ends, so you will receive it afterwards. And also I want to mention cooperation with Trees Around the Globe campaign, which we are very happy for, and we will also share with you information from this campaign. This was a very brief summary what to expect. I will talk more about each of these things. But before I do that, I want to emphasize that all the activities in the campaign are voluntary. So we will be very happy if you try all of them, but if your time, your schedule doesn't allow it, just try whatever you can. This is anyway great. And please let us know how it goes, how are the activities, how you are progressing in a campaign. This is very important for us to get news from you and get feedback to the campaign. So let's talk a bit about the activities. We will have 3 activities for you. First one is about choosing and describing your tree. The other is the main activity is observing the color change. And at the end, you will work with green noun data. And I will now describe and explain each activity more in detail. So let's start with activity 1 by 3. In this activity, we ask you to find a tree that is suitable for the observation. What means suitable? Suitable means it's close enough so that you can visit the tree twice a week, actually quite often. So yeah, close is the main characteristic. Then the tree needs to have one branch, at least one branch low, so that you can reach it and you can see the leaves from close. The tree should also not be shaded, or it shouldn't be watered or fertilized. And this is because all these things would actually influence the greening down. If you don't have any other tree than the tree that is shaded by the building, you can still do the observation, but please, when you share your results, especially when you upload data into the database, let others know, write there a comment that the tree is, for example, shaded or fertilized. It's very important also for the scientists to know how to work with the data. After you choose your tree, you will need to find one branch with 4 leaves at the end and mark them. These will be your leaves that you will focus on during the whole next activities. After, we will ask you to describe the tree, so to find out which species it is and write down coordinates of the site where the tree grows. We will also ask you to take pictures with Grow Up application and share your pictures and also information, your results at the campaign discussion forum. So once you finish this, there will be time for activity 2, in which we ask you to come twice a week to your tree and observe the leaf color change until the leaves fall down. To observe the color change, you will need a globe plant color guide, which is the thing that is in the picture on the right side. So if you don't have this guide, you can't really do this activity. So please, if you don't have one, contact your country coordinator and he or she will provide the guide for you. I will show the guide in detail. So when you come to your tree, you always take the leaves one by one and you compare them with the plant color guide. You will try to find the most similar color to the one on your leaf, and you will write this color down to your data sheet. It can happen, and probably it will happen, that the leaf will have more colors than one. So what to do in this case? In this case, you will just need to estimate which color is predominant on your leaf, and this will be the color that you will write down. So if you have 3 colors, probably one of them will cover the most area of the leaf, and this is the color that you will need to write into your data sheet. This is an example of a completely green down data sheet. You can see there information for 4 different leaves in the columns, and in the rows there are dates. So this is what you do. Once you visit your tree, you will write down the date of your visit. Growing season is 1 for Europe and Eurasia. This is always 1. And then you write the predominant color of each leaf. It can happen that your leaf will be covered by snow. In that case, you will write down snow covered. And what happened finally is that the leaf will fall down. So in that case, you will write fallen. Once you will have fallen in all your 4 columns, once all your leaves will be fallen, that's the end of your activity 2. The next step will be working with your green down data within the activity 3. So we will ask you to upload your results to the database, which is available at the globe.gov website. And for this, you will need login to your Globe account. You can't really do this activity if you don't have the account. So if you don't have one, please again contact your country coordinator or write to me or to my colleagues. We will help you out with that. And you will also need data that you collected at the first 2 activities, because you will need to create a site for your observation, and you will need to describe the observation by entering the data. Once you enter the data, you will be able to work them in the globe visualization tool that allows you to create a beautiful, colorful charts like this, or this on the top. It shows the change of leaf color over the time. You will be also able to compare the data. You will be also able to see the data of another school. Your data will be in the visualization tool. Your data are placed in a map, so you can easily see someone who's nearby, or you can also choose, for example, based on the height of a surface. I will not go into the details about this because it would take a lot of time, but we have for you guides prepared for visualization and for data entry. So I will send them to you in the next newsletter, and you can also find them at the campaign website. There are also the 2 additional activities that I already mentioned. One is focused on measuring the tree height. It is called How Tall Is My Tree? And this activity will give you guidance on how to measure tree height using a clinometer or using a Globe Observer tool, which is actually a smartphone application that you can download. There will be also the activity on how leaves lose white, but I will not talk about this because Zuzana Lhotakova will do it afterwards. So this is all for the activities. And now just quickly about the Grow Up application. I have already mentioned that we will ask you to take pictures with this app during the whole time. Grow Up is a very simple mobile application which is available for both Android and iOS. You can, when you download it, you will be able to take pictures of your tree, and the application will automatically turn them into a beautiful time-lapse videos that will just show how your tree is changing over the autumn. You can also use hashtag to describe the tree species and name your school. And afterwards, you can visit this website, growup.today, and you will see your results in the world map and also the results of other schools. Actually, we have experienced that students really like it, so I really recommend trying this, and I'm curious for your feedback. I also mentioned a discussion forum. So we will ask you to share your results during the whole campaign at the campaign discussion forum that you will find at the GlobeGov website, at the website of European Phenology Campaign. This is a menu of the European Phenology Campaign website, and you will find a tab called News and Discussion. You will need, for working with the discussion forum, you will need again to be signed into your Globe account. So you will need login information for your Globe account. Once you are logged in, you enter News and Discussion. You will need to choose the category 2021 Autumn. After you do this, you just click on the new thread, and then you can write any message or add your pictures. I also want to point out that the emails, the posts that are posted on the discussion forum can be sent by email to you. So you can receive notification anytime that someone posts on the discussion forum. But to let this happen, you need to subscribe for the discussion forum. So you do it by clicking on these 3 dots here for the whole news and discussion forum, and here for the autumn, and you choose subscribe, and then you will be receiving email notification. If you no longer want to do that, you just again click on the 3 dots and you choose unsubscribe, and that's it. You will no longer receive any emails. One last thing that I want to point out about the campaign is collaboration group. Collaboration group is an opportunity to work with another school from the same country or from abroad. This autumn we have 88 schools that want to join, and at the moment we are trying to match them in the best possible way so that they find partners suitable for them. And we create groups of 2, 3, or 4 schools that will work together, that will exchange data and pictures by email, for example. We also encourage the collaboration groups to communicate more, like organize some meetings over Zoom or over Skype, for example. And the schools can also start some student research projects together. They can exchange data more. They can decide when to measure, for example, and work really closer. And last but not least, it's also a very good opportunity to practice English language skills. And again, please, if you join the collaboration group, let us know how your cooperation is going. If it's going well, and even if it's not going well, it's very helpful for us, and maybe we can even try to solve you the problems if there are some. At the end, I want to show you a few information on the Phenology Campaign website. So this is a print screen from the campaign website. This is a homepage where you will find the most important information, but you can also choose one of the tabs. I want to emphasize webinars, where you will find invitations and also registration for the webinars that we plan this autumn. We plan 2 more webinars. One will be meeting with scientists, which is scheduled for the end of October. The date and closer information will be sent to you and will be also available here at this webinars tab. There will be also one closing webinar called Our Autumn with Trees that will take place on December 1st on Zoom. And this will be opportunity for any of you to prepare a presentation and talk about your autumn research and your experience in the campaign. In the webinar tab, you will also find invitation to Trees Around the Globe campaign webinars. And when you scroll down, you will see archived webinars from the previous campaigns. So you can also find some inspiration there. One last thing is download materials, where you will find all the activities, but also link to Globe protocols on Green Down. You will find there also tutorials on how to work with Globe data and some ideas for lesson plans for your inspiration. So that's all for me at the moment. I hope this will be helpful. This will help you to start the campaign smoothly and easily. And I will be happy to answer any questions now. I will look into the chat, but also if you want to unmute yourself and say something, please feel free.
Yeah, Lenka, there is a question in the chat from Fena. I don't have a Globe account yet. Do students get their own account, or is there one for all students? So
there are two options. You can create your account for yourself and your school that you will be maintaining, you will be working with. But there's also an option to create student accounts. You can create up to 50 student accounts, and these have a little bit limited rights, so students can do only certain things, but they can definitely work with the Autumn data. They can enter the data, they can create a site for your observation. So you can do this and let students to do all this work on their own. I will send a tutorial in the chat in a while for you to, so you can read more about it. And if you don't have a Globe account, we can communicate this later on, help you to get one.
Yeah, I will put it to the chat.
Thank you, Dana. So I don't see any more questions. But I see Zuzana Lhotakova, I think, joining.
Yeah, I think that Zuzana is here.
Yes. So maybe at this moment we can give word to her, and you can maybe think about all the information, and there will be more time to ask at the end. So if you want, if some questions come to your mind, you can do it afterwards. So Zuzka, hello, can you hear us?
Hi.
Hi.
I don't know whether you can hear me.
Yes, we can't see you, but we can hear you well.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm late. Then there's another small trouble because I suppose this will be in Czech, so maybe there was some miscommunication. Whatever. So good afternoon to everybody. My name is Zuzana Lhotakova from Charles University in Prague. I'm a plant physiologist, so I'm doing my research on trees and how they are storing carbon and how they respond with their health status to the changing environment. And I suppose I should comment a little bit the activity that that's focused on how much carbon is stored in leaves during the year, and we focus on autumn. Is that right, Lenka?
Pardon, I was muted. So, yeah, that's perfectly right. Zuzka, thanks a lot for joining us and for telling us more about the activity. Well, if you wanted me to share, I have the activity open, so I can share it for you as well if you want.
Well, so
let me know in that case.
Please, Lenka, share the activity. If I miss some information there, so then I can share my screen and show you in short presentation, which is in Czech. However, maybe it doesn't matter because there's a lot of pictures. Okay, so thank you, Lenka. However, maybe I will switch to my presentation, even though it's in Czech, because it has some broader context with how trees behave and so on. So it may be easier to follow the activity. So 1 second for me to try share the screen. Okay, I'm disabled participating share screening. So
okay, should be possible now. Sorry for that.
Okay, now it works. I hope. So do you see my screen with the presentation? Where's the...
Yes, it's perfect, yes.
Fine, so sorry for being in Czech, but it says carbon cycle, koloběh uhlíku, from spring to winter, od jara do zimy. So it will be as well the Czech lesson. So I start with something that your students may focus on during the phenology campaign or carbon cycle campaign, that the tree or plants, they accumulate carbon, they store it in their biomass and build it into their body during the whole day life. So let's look more for the trees. They have green leaves during the spring and summer. So they perform the miracle of photosynthesis. That means they suck the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, they suck it to the leaves, they change it to sugars and store it somewhere in their biomass. They change as well simple sugars for more complicated, for example, celluloses, which is, saying simple, the material from which the leaf is built. But this process goes only if the sun is shining, then if the temperature is well, so it's not too chilly or too hot, then even if the tree has green leaves, so it contains the green pigment called chlorophyll, which is able to absorb the light, use its energy, and use the energy for building sugars. And as well, the leaf has to have opened the stomata, the small pores, through the CO2 goes inside the leaf. And the intensity of photosynthesis, how much carbon is built into the leaves and other parts of the tree, is depending on the season, on phenology. So here you can see the sequence from bud burst, which should be the number 1, then leaf enlargement and emergence, numbers 2, 3, then stages 4 and 5 is full green up, so or full leaf area, and then now we are somewhere between 5 and 6. It depends whether we are more to the north, then we are maybe more to the stage of changing colors and losing leaves, or if or where we are before the leaves start to change the color, lose water, and recycle some components during the autumn. So we can imagine that a tree uses leaves for accumulation carbon from spring through summer, and then in autumn or in fall, the carbon accumulation decreases. So the tree start to change the color of the leaves and start to lose weight of the leaves as well. And that's the activity, that's the central point of the activity. So now, if we are on the beginning of the fall or end of the summer, we can start tracking how the tree starts to change the color of leaves, which is obvious. We can see it by our eyes. But what we can measure is how the tree is recycling the material that has accumulated in a leaf. Because you can imagine that leaves, when they are shed, they are not green and juicy like during the summer, but they are yellow, brown, almost dry. So the tree is very, well, the tree doesn't waste. So it recycles all material it could, maybe more nitrogen or proteins that are compounds that as well are very valuable for creatures that are eating the leaves. So you can imagine that that the leaves at the end of the season are not so good for eating as well for the organisms that they eat the leaves. So we can measure how the leaf loses weight. So what can be seen on the graphics on the left side, the green boxes, which are higher and higher during the spring, and then they go down in autumn. So that's how the leaf is changing color. So it's content of chlorophyll, of the green pigment. However, now if we cut the leaf, then we can see that from the left, from the spring to the middle in the summer, it gets thicker, and it depends on how it stores carbon and builds the cells. And then towards October, towards autumn, it loses weight. Well, the cell structure stays, but the water is lost, and some nutrients are recycled. Some sugars are as well recycled and stored in the trunk or in roots. And by a simple activity, we can somehow see that process without cutting the leaves and watching on them in the microscope. And it could be seen in that parameter, leaf mass per area. That means how much weight is for a square meter or a square centimeter of a leaf. So as well, if you follow the green boxes in the middle of the slide, so you go from the thin and light leaves in the spring to thick and heavy leaves in the summer or September, and then the leaf starts losing weight. And it looks like big science. However, it's really simple to evaluate how much weight is for a square meter or square centimeter of a leaf. But what is important, that you start to collect leaves, living green leaves from your trees just now, to start at the peak of the season, and then observe the leaves, and as they change the color, you should harvest other leaves and then process your samples. And well, it's very maybe what is really easy is to measure the weight of the leaves. If you don't have a really precise scale, then you can weight more leaves at once. But what is important, first dry the leaves, because the water content changed, and it changed as well according to, or could change according to the weather, whether it's dry or rainy. So first, it's really important to get the leaves dried before you weight them. And well, what about the 1 square meter or 1 square centimeter? You don't have to collect the full 1 square meter of leaves. You just could measure the area of leaves, which is possible by various ways. But this process you should do when leaves are fresh, because once they are dried, it's not so easy to draw them or to assess the area. And then if you relate the weight of the leaves to their area, you should see how the leaves lose weight. And if you consider that 50%, so one half of the leaf mass is carbon, then we can see that the carbon accumulated in the leaves is decreasing during the fall. However, it could be stored somewhere else in the tree. So I don't know whether it was clear enough, or yeah, that's my short comment to the activity. And if you have some questions, you are most welcome to ask.
Zuzka, thank you very much, and apologies for the confusion with the languages, but actually we have quite many participants from Czech Republic, so these could enjoy the presentation in full.
No, I'm really sorry, and it's no problem to translate and share the presentation with other participants afterwards.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah, we will definitely share this recording afterwards together with the presentation and the website. So if we can translate it, we can place it there in English, so it's easier to understand. So please, if there are any questions, you're very welcome to ask or write us into the chat. So I don't see any questions. The activity is also available at the Phenology Campaign website, so you can go through it, and even afterwards, if you have any questions, you can either go back to this recording or you can let us know. We can explain. It's the first time that we are trying it, so it might happen that something is not clear, and then please let us know. And actually, we are quite curious how the change will be in your measurements. So how much your trees will, how much carbon your trees will get back from the leaves and store them for winter. So share it with us also at the discussion forum. Well, as I don't see any questions, I don't see anything in chat either. So then let's end this webinar. I hope it was helpful for you. We brought you some interesting and useful information that will help you in the campaign. Once again, I want to repeat that you will find the information at the campaign website, or you can write to me or to my colleagues. And yeah, I look forward to working together in the next few months. And I really look forward to seeing your pictures and your comments at the discussion forum. So take care, everyone. It was nice spending the time with you today. And thanks again to Zuzka for coming and for her presentation.